All right, hello, this is Wmpyr. In the last video, I mentioned to you guys something about wrenching. So in this video, I want to show you how you can practice wrenching. And then after I show you that, I'll go into the more boring stuff, the explanation. Okay, so first of all, you're going to want something like this. This is just a rolled up yoga mat. Okay, you could get a pillow. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put on the rear naked choke on this guy. So, you know, this is how you put on the rear naked choke, right? Okay, so pretty standard stuff. So normally with the rear naked choke, you know, there's details, right? You got to make sure that it's going to be under the chin. You want the elbow right there. And you slide it on, and then you find the leverage, right? And then you squeeze, and you put the guy to sleep, right? That is the purpose for the rear naked choke. Wrenching is different. When you're going to do wrenching, what we're going to do here, okay, so same choke, same rear naked choke right here. And what you're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and from here, I'm going to use my chest and the blade of my forearm, and I'm going to bang that in right here, okay? So using the blade, my forearm blade, and my chest, like this, like that, like that. And at the same time now, as I do that, boom, boom, boom. So I don't care if it's on the neck or if it's a little bit off or his chin's protecting. I don't care. Right? So I'm boom, boom, boom. I'm doing that now. So that's front and back action. This is what's happening. Now I'm going to introduce a sideways action. So I'm going to loosen up here a little bit right there. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm using the blade of my forearm and I'm striking in. I could also do this right here. So right here, I could just, right, boom, 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 boom. I could dig that in, and then I could add this as well. I could do both of those simultaneously as well. So that is wrenching. Okay, so now let me go into the details of what exactly wrenching is and why we do it. So first of all, wrenching, rather than being a very specific technique, it's more about how you apply the technique, as you just saw right now. So I did it with a rear naked choke. Wrenching can be done joint locks, chokes, as you just saw, takedowns, and within takedowns, let's also say throws, because there's sometimes a little bit different between a full throw and then a takedown. Okay, so once again, joint locks, that's kind of the main thing. We do it on joint locks, can do it on chokes, and do it on takedowns. Okay, takedowns, throws. And this was designed, I designed it for stand-up, the clinch. But it could also be done on the ground. Obviously, if you're already on the ground, you're not going to do takedowns. It's going to be more like sweeps and reversals. But you could do it with that as well. All right. Yes, you could do it on the ground, but it was really meant to be designed for the stand-up game. Now, why? The reason why we're doing this, okay, is that when you look at full contact fighting, so something like the UFC, a pure submission expert, like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person, a pure stylist like that, would have a disadvantage if all they're trying to do is try to get the finish. The other person already knows what you're going to go for. They know the finishes that you're going to try to be applying. They know the moves. They know the defenses. It's going to be very difficult to catch them with it. And you know, you could watch plenty of UFC fights and submission finishes. It's not as common as it used to be, and it's not easy. It's really not easy to get. So they have a disadvantage. A pure submission specialist would have a disadvantage versus someone that strikes. Okay, why? Because, and to put it simply, is this. Like I said, going for something like this, a rear naked choke, right? Going for a rear naked choke, that is a finish. I'm trying to put this guy to sleep. So once I get it, I'm trying to finish them, right? If I don't finish them, like I said, because they already know the moves, they know the defense, they know how to get out of it, they're, you know. So then, if I don't get the finish, then all that work, all that setup, I'm wasting a lot of energy, and I get nothing. Unless I get very, very close to the finish, it does no damage to the person. Now let's look at the strikers, right? Whether they're striking standing on the clinch or on the ground. A striker has a KO punch, right? They have their shot that they're trying to knock you out with. So that would be the same as the rear naked choke. This is the move that I'm trying to finish this person with. So they have whatever move it is, an uppercut or whatever, that can finish a person. But if they don't get that, that's okay, because in the meantime, they have the smaller punches. They have like the jabs and stuff that they're constantly, you know, doing that wears you down. So even though they don't get the finish, they're wearing you down. They're causing small damages that adds up. They're creating openings, okay, for the KO. So that gives them the advantage. And then for the guy that does this, where's that? Where's your smaller moves that leads to that? There is none. There is none, unless you're really good at striking and you're also using the smaller punches, the smaller strikes. But technique-wise, like joint locks, chokes, there really is none. So that's what wrenching is. Wrenching is the smaller version of this. So I'm not trying to finish the guy, but I'm trying to annoy the guy. Okay? Why am I trying to annoy the guy? Once again, I'm annoying him so that it starts to add up. The wear and tear starts to add up. I'm annoying them so that they start to get tired, make mistakes. They're distracted, creates openings. And so as I'm going like that repeatedly, I might be able to sink in the rear naked choke fully. Before it was there, it wasn't under the chin. It was maybe right here, and by repeatedly going bam, 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 like that over and over, I might be able to now sink it in and then get the finish. So that's how wrenching works. So I hope that makes sense. That is the idea of wrenching. When I first saw wrenching, it was from Sifu Paul Vunak's tape, and he did a technique called arm wrench. And I was like, that is an awesome move. And then from there, I was like, what other arm wrenching techniques are there? And I started thinking about it, and then I kept developing it to other arm wrenches. And then I was like, you know what? It doesn't have to be limited to the arm. We could do it to the knee. We could do it to the ankle. We could do it to the neck. We could do it to the wrist, the fingers. And then I was like, wait a minute. It doesn't just have to be joint locks. It could also be done with chokes, with gi chokes, or blood chokes, air chokes. You could do it with the chokes. And then I was like, oh, you could also do it with throws. That was actually from Kimura's book, which I haven't read, but they say he mentioned, I read something where they mentioned that one of his favorite moves was, there was no name for it, but I would describe it as a wrenching throw. So it's a throw, but as you throw, this hit, so you grab here, and when you throw them, you're hitting them as you throw them. So it's a dirty move in judo, but that guy was doing some like no holds barred type fighting back in the day. So in that environment, it would make sense to use something like that. So anyway, those are all some of the ways that I piece together the puzzle to come up with wrenching. So this is my terminology for wrenching, and really happy to show it to you guys. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.